Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you may find yourself. And welcome to Beyond the Bins, a podcast that explores the various ways that we, the human species, are navigating a rapidly changing world as it relates to the environment, sustainability, conservation, ecology, and more. My name is Laurel. Here, we'll share stories, ideas, and pose questions about modern man's relationship with the natural world and where to go from here. This episode is the first part of a subtopic within this podcast that I'm calling Getting Started. I know it's not the most creative name for a subtopic, but I wanted to include stuff in this podcast about, well, getting started. Specifically, I wanted to talk about getting started with taking action on environmental issues. Now, I want to make something clear. I'm not going to be talking about things like what's recyclable or reusable, eco-friendly things that you can buy, and so on. There's already tons of information out there about that stuff. What I will be talking about is how to take meaningful action. In the previous episode, I talked about how hearing about various events related to climate change, biodiversity loss, and so on can leave people with feelings of paralysis. I'm going to make an assumption here, and that is that if you're listening to this, I'm going to assume that you want to do something about it all, but you don't know where to start. Well, first things first, know yourself. That's right. I am advising you to start by knowing yourself. Now, you might be thinking, what? There's multiple gigantic crises going on, and you're saying we should start by knowing oneself? I'll explain. If environmental action is new to you, it's critical to ask yourself the following. What do I value in general? If the thought of future generations being able to see a polar bear in the wild is enough to motivate you to do something, great. However, it's unlikely that many people are motivated by that and that alone. Maybe you're a wine connoisseur and you wonder how climate change will change the way wine is made. Maybe you want prosperity for your community. Maybe you're an avid fly fisherman and you want the stream that you fish in to be healthy. Maybe you have kids and you just want a better future for them. From here, you can ask yourself things like, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What brings you joy? And what drains your energy? Reflecting on who you are and what you value and how it pertains to taking action on the environment is a critical first step because it provides a base for your motivation. As I stated earlier, hearing about all these things happening in the world can easily lead to burnout. So knowing what exactly it is you're fighting for can help provide a foundation for the energy that you will need to act. This episode was recorded on the traditional homelands of the Ute, Diné, and Pueblo peoples. If you're enjoying what you've heard, like, subscribe, follow, whatever it is you're doing on YouTube or whatever podcast outlet you're using. You can find me on Blue Sky, where my handle is @BeyondTheBins. That's Beyond, THE Bins, all one word. You can also find me on Facebook as Beyond the Bins Podcast. If you have thoughts that you would like to share or questions, I would love to hear them. Feel free to leave a comment or shoot me a message on one of the aforementioned social media outlets. Until next time, thank you for listening and take care.